Hello and welcome to Stout Out Loud's live Untappd ratings. Today's brew is called 4 Years Dinner and it was made by a Dutch brewery called the Moersleutel. Maybe you've heard this name before in my vlog. I've previously reviewed their beer called Tiramisu Twins and I was sort of lukewarm about it. But I do really love a lot of beers that this brewery makes. You can maybe see a couple of them in my cupboard right there for later use. But the reason why I'm reviewing a beer by this brewery again is simply the fact that I was so very curious about this one. I just couldn't wait. This is an anniversary stout to mark the 4th anniversary of this brewery. That's based in Alkmaar in the Netherlands, by the way. And they tend to make very full-bodied stouts for a very reasonable price, especially when you bear in mind that it comes in a big can like this one. However, in the shop where I sometimes buy my beers, they don't always list the prices of the beers. So I was expecting this to have like the regular price for a beer by this brewery, like 5.5 to 7 euros. I fear I may have paid about 9 euros for this, which doesn't seem like much, but that's sort of the top of where I want to go. Now the reason why I'm so curious about this beer is that it's a barrel-aged imperial stout. Now that's nothing special because I've had many barrel-aged imperial stouts from Poyala and other breweries, but I've never had a barrel-aged stout made by this brewery, the Moersleutel. So I'm very curious to see what it adds to the kind of beer that they make. It doesn't actually list what kind of barrels it was aged on, and I wasn't able to find the answer too quickly. So I'm kind of guessing it'll be bourbon barrel aged, or at least some kind of whiskey barrel. Let's see, maybe the smell and the flavor will tell me more about this. So here we go. It's nice and black, a deep black, I like that. Usually that's good news. So let's see what it smells like. Yeah, what it smells like is alcohol, which is often an effect from barrel aging beers. The spirit that was in the barrels usually rubs off on the beer. I can't be sure to say what kind of barrel this might have been, but judging on the sharpness, I am still putting my money on the bourbon barrels, because bourbon is a rather sharp kind of whiskey. I like whiskies too, especially single malt whiskies, and especially from Scotland actually. But I've had my share of bourbons, and they seem a little sharper than the more refined whiskies. So let's see what the flavor is going to be like. I really like it, actually. So what's happening is that there's this undertone of with roasted undertone. Much more so than in any other of their stouts I've had. But also there's this extra layer that I still have to pin down. It's actually more of a sherry vibe than it is a bourbon vibe. So I can't be sure enough to call it, but boy, is it nice. They didn't choose like a specific flavor for this, like they have with different pastry stouts and such, that you know what it's supposed to taste like. That's not happening for this one. It's just called a 4 years anniversary beer barrel aged imperial stout, 13% by the way, alcohol. But it definitely has more complexity than any of the other beers by them that I've had before, and those are already quite good, believe me. So if I have to give this a rating, I'm going in first again. I'm going to say this was worth the higher price. And I'm going to give my highest rating so far, which is 4.75, because it's just one of the more interesting beers I think I've ever had. So good on them. But they're a very good brewery, so maybe I shouldn't have expected anything less. There you go. Would you like to know beforehand what the nicest beers you can get on your budget are? Then support us by liking and especially subscribing to our channel, so we can continue investing in these beers, tasting them for you, and letting you know if they are any good. Cheers.